you are having an incredibly blessed day. I am really excited to be able to share something with you. I wanted to go live and talk about three things that will rob your destiny. And at the end of today, I do want to share with you guys a special opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of what we have as one of the probably fastest pieces of our program that we're offering for a very limited time. And we're going to talk about that in a bit, but I want to get into the content for today. So today we're going to talk about what are those three things that will rob your destiny. And I think that this topic is extremely important. So as you guys know, I work with a lot of different people. I've been able to meet with a lot of different people, and I'm able to see what are the weapons that the enemy uses against them to keep them from their destiny. And there are three things that I've noticed that happen. I tell people when you're writing a book, especially if your book has anything to do with you testifying, okay, to the things that God has done in your life, you know that there's going to be spiritual warfare. It's going to happen one way or the other. So you need to know that first and foremost going in is that whatever you do, you're going to find some kind of distraction, something that's going to come up that is going to get in your way. And so I want to take you through three, what I call like the 3 Ds of things that will rob your destiny. And all of this has to do again with our book writing, our business launching. What are the things that God has called you to do in this season? And are you doing them? If you're not doing them, it's probably because one of these three things. So the first is delay. So you guys can write this down. Number one is delay. When delay happens, delay basically means that someone or something is late or slow. Now, we know that God is always on time, right? Something we know and believe about God. He's always on time. So God might be always on time, but there can also be things that are coming in to bring that delay within our life to receive the blessings and the promises of God. And so what could those things be? Well, for one, you have spiritual resistance, okay? Now, we believe that there's spiritual things that happen, but also we play a role in that delay. Now, I want to give you an example. Daniel 10:13-14. It talks about how Daniel was praying and he was waiting for a response from God. And it says, "But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days, and behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me." So this is talking about an angelic stronghold, right? You're talking about a demonic stronghold that was keeping Daniel from receiving the response from God. Okay. So when it's talking about Michael going out, this is talking about the archangel Michael. It says, "One of the chief princes came to help me, for I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to make you understand what will happen to your people in the latter days, for the vision refers to many days yet to come." So Daniel did his part. Daniel was praying, Daniel was fasting, he was doing everything that he needed to do to be able to receive the answer and the response of what God wanted to speak to him. Now, what's very interesting is it says this is the vision refers to many days yet to come. And what happens is you have to look at that vision. What is the vision? God was coming to bring a vision. If you have a vision and in your vision you see stages, you see yourself being a person of influence, you're sharing, you're helping people to break past different pains and things like that, but you're not doing anything to take the step, you're going to continue to see delay. Now we know that these enemies, right, these things come in both internal and external factors. Okay, when we talk about warfare, there's the manifestation in our physical that we see, but the spiritual world we don't see. However, we still interact with it in the sense our thoughts, right? There's an influence in what we think, there's influence in what we believe. And so we have the option whether or not to agree with those things. So if you agree with that spirit that comes and tells you, the spirit of delay that tells you, "Oh, just put this off for the next semester, the next season, the next year," and what happens is delay partners with distraction and it partners with distraction and disruption. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but you have to understand that delay is like, it's sort of like the overarching thing, right? Like when you think of like a principality, it's delay and it works in conjunction with these other things. So when you get that little thought of, I can put this off for next time. I don't need to start. I don't need to do it. And, it's okay. I have all these other things going on, the distractions, all these other things going on. But in your core and in your being that there's something that you're supposed to be doing. There's something more, there's something else. And thank God for that holy hunger that he gives us to do something else. We're not comfortable with where we are and with what we're doing. We know that we've been created for more, but we have not yet been obedient to step into it. You are partnering with delay. Grant Cardone talks about how there's people who will who when you're basically working in your business and you're prospecting, you're going to get people who come and say, hey, you know what, I know I'm supposed to do this, I feel I'm going to do this, and then they push it off for the next month. They say, you know what, check in with me in a month from now. You've already partnered with procrastination and delay. Why? Yes, sometimes external factors. I'm not saying it's not the case with everything, right? Sometimes things happen that genuinely make it almost impossible for us to go at that moment. However, if it becomes a pattern, then you're dealing with the spirit of delay and you have to renew your mind, because 1 month can become 2 months, and 2 months becomes 3 months can become 6 months, 6 months becomes a year, until eventually you've lost sight of the vision in the first place. And so what happens is then you open yourself up to more disappointment. You open yourself up to that because the delay has already taken hold, and it just keeps pushing it out. So what happens? Okay, when you've decided to take the step, you've decided to push past the delay, and you've decided to get started, what happens next? What happens is, you're able to push past that barrier, but then distraction comes. Now, distraction comes to try to move you off of the course from which you're already walking. So again, if you take the first step, you already have a direction. You already have started the process. But distraction comes in when all of these other things start coming in, all of these other opportunities, and it's like they all start popping up at one time. And you're like, oh, where was all of this before? It wasn't there because it wasn't yet the time. You started something, and if the enemy can come and remove something while it's in its infancy, then it can bring stagnation, and it partners with delay. So distraction partners with delay. When you are constantly looking this way and then starting a different project or going this way, and listen, I get it. I get it. For those of you, maybe, if you're undiagnosed ADHD, I get it. Or maybe you're diagnosed, I don't know. But if you deal with that, or you're a serial starter, you're starting everything, but you're not finishing everything, you are partnering with delay. Okay. And it's coming in through distraction. Distraction can also come in other things. It can come in with other people, right? Other situations. It's like the second you step out to do something, all of a sudden the bank's calling, you have a late fee, all these other things start happening. And that can discourage you from continuing to take the steps forward. You have to push past that. Because I'm going to tell you, most of the time when you're about to break through, your problem is not physical, your problem is spiritual. Okay, it's something that's happening in the spiritual world. So the enemy will come, try to take away the things that you've already started to do, you've already started to step into and walk into, and bring distractions through people, through circumstances, through situations. And that partners with delay. It's going to keep well, you know what? Now this is happening. I started. Now, you know what? I got to wait. And you keep pushing it off. You keep waiting for later. And then what happens is, again, you eventually lose the vision. Disappointment comes in. And then we say, wow, God, where are you? Why are you not doing it? And God's like, I've already given it to you, but you're dealing with distraction right now. Okay. So what is that? That's something that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. So we have to be focused, laser focused, have our attention on what we're doing. And this is one of the reasons why I really stress when I work with clients, when you start, just do it. Like, go through, set your goals, and just keep hitting them, keep attacking them, because what's going to happen is the spirit of distraction is going to come in. The enemy's going to throw the distractions at you. And you have a choice whether or not you decide to partner with it or not. So I tell people, set your goals and just do it. And if you can do it in a short period of time, which it is possible, right? I just beat my book writing record. We finished one in 26 days. And guys, and it's not just fluff, like, it's actually possible. That's another thing. So stay focused, shorten the amount of time, and get it done and get it going. Okay. And that's going to help you in achieving your goals and walking into what you've been called to do. Now, I love this example because Paul talks about this. I think this is such a great example in 1 Corinthians 9:24. He says, run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like a man running aimlessly. I do not fight like a man beating the air. I love that example, right? Because think about this: if you know the goal, you know where you're going. You're going to keep running towards that thing, right? You're going to keep running towards that prize. You're focused on the goal. You're not distracted. And I love this. He says about running aimlessly. We don't want to do that. We don't want to run around in circles with no goal and no direction of where we're going. And we don't want to fight like a man beating the air, right? If you so in these Greek games, what they would do is a lot of times what we see now with like modern UFC or boxing and things like that, they would do similar games. They would do similar things. The Greek and the Greco-Romans, and they would fight, and that was part of it. And he says, I'm not fighting like someone beating the air. I know what my opponent is. I know what my goal is, and I'm moving ferociously towards that. And that's how you have to be. But again, it starts in the mind. It starts in the thinking. And you may not even realize it. It comes as simple as this one little thought, well, my time right now, I just can't do it. I don't have the time. I don't have this. And you start listing out all of the reasons why you can't do what you know you're supposed to already do. And this is part of this is distraction. You started it, we'll finish strong. Keep going, but it's gonna take focus, and it's gonna take the training to do it. The last one is, if the enemy can't discourage you from starting with delay, if he can't distract you, he's going to disrupt you. And a disruption is an outward stopping. It's a disturbance and problems which will interrupt the event and the activity or the process. So we know the Bible tells us that the thief comes only to kill, steal, and destroy. So the enemy moves to do this again with both internal, our thoughts, and external factors. So if he can't have something within you to manipulate, then he's going to try to manipulate the things around you to get you to go in a different direction, because he can't go against your free will. So thinking about this, you don't want to remove your eyes from the goal, the prize, and the promise. Keep your eyes on it, move towards it. Don't allow all the other distractions and all these other disruptions and these things stop or hinder what you're doing. Okay, you want to keep going, get started, get focused, and step into the promise. Those are the most important things: thinking, getting started, staying focused, and then stepping into what God truly has for you. Okay, I hope this video was a blessing to you. I do want to share with you something that we have to help you to get started. So if you feel like, it was on your goal this year to write a book, and you're like, man, it's already mid-April. I haven't even taken steps, or maybe you have and you've gotten distracted. This is going to be a great opportunity for you. So if you're somebody who needs a refresher, even if you've written a book before and you want to do it in a shorter time, another book in a different way, or if you haven't started yet, or you're on the kind of train of stopping and starting, then you're really going to want to be a part of this and take advantage of this. I'm going to share this with you. So this is what we have. We are doing an 8-week business book to business intensive. So like I said, if you've been dealing with delay and you're like months and years behind of what God has called you to do, this is a really great opportunity, because we're focused on time here. We want to help you get it done, and we want to help you move quickly. And so this 8 weeks, it's a book to business intensive. This is actually a new way that we're doing this. In the past, we've worked in different ways. We do have an influencer community group that we're a part of, which if you do come into this, you will get to be in that for 8 weeks complimentary. You'll get to be part of that group, which is just additional coaching, and it's a really great community to be a part of. But we're going to go through this process, and not just book, but book to business. So it's 8 weeks. We're going to go through your foundations, how to get that book written quickly, how you can start drafting and even do your own editing and pre-editing. We're going to talk about things that you can do to self-publish, marketing and different opportunities. And then we're going to move into some business foundations, how to launch a business, a mentorship, a group, something out of your book, out of what you're doing in this area of influence. And then we're going to teach you how to start scaling through the stages. So, how do you do that? How do you get onto different platforms, virtual and in person? These are speaking opportunities. So, again, we're going to hit through these points, and it is going to go along with the courses that we have, as well as weekly group coaching. So, over the next 8 weeks, you do have to be registered by April 15th. And I know this is going to be super impactful. And it is the lowest price program that we have done so far in any of the coaching that we have offered. So I know that if that is a factor for you, it shouldn't be here, because it's really an opportunity to step into that and to answer that and to get rid of that delay that you have been dealing with. So you have to let me know. Just put down in the comments if that's something you want and you're interested in and you're ready to kind of to make up the time, right? We talk about redeeming the time. Well, it's time to redeem the time now. So we'd love to have you come into that. And again, you have to be registered by April 15th. And this is going to be a really great opportunity. Okay. So if you love this video, if it blessed you, if it encouraged you, let me know down in the comments. Share this with whoever you think needs to hear it. Tag them. If you're watching this on YouTube or in Tell Your Story Books to Business, well, Tell Your Story Books to Business is a free group. So it's open, it's a public group. So you can invite people to be a part of this, to also be impacted by it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and keep staying connected. Starting on April 22nd, in Network for the Kingdom, we are going to do our 40 Days to Purpose, and we're going to be going live every day, reading a chapter of Exodus as we transition into the second half of the year. So this is, like I said, a really great opportunity to get started in that. Take 8 weeks, and you're going to be able to really kick off the second half of the year with much more than you probably started with. So this is all about redeeming the time and coming against that spirit that brings delay, distraction, and disruption. All right. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Bye.